Hi guys, so I thought I would try something different for this video and show you a Transmog set that is not too hard to obtain to make you look like the Marvel superhero character Thor. So I'm going to start with the hands, the belt and the feet, as these are all part of the same set and can be obtained in the same way or from the same place should you wish to farm for them. So the hands are called Glorious Gauntlets, the belt is called Glorious Belt, and the boots are called Glorious Sabertons. These are all bind on equip, so can be bought on the auction house, which is most likely the easiest way to obtain them. So I definitely recommend doing that. However, prices can vary depending on your server if the seller knows their value. I got all 3 pieces for under 3,000 gold. However, I have seen some of the pieces sell for up to 10,000 gold per item. However, they do all drop from various different mobs in Silithis in Kalimdor. So if you wish to farm mobs for them, then that's where you need to go. Moving on to the headpiece. This helm is called Brilliant Titan Steel Helm, and it's a craftable item from the blacksmith profession. It can be bought on the auction house as it is bind on equip, and again this is possibly the easiest way to obtain it. The recipe can be purchased from various different blacksmith trainers, should you wish to own it. To make the helm yourself or to have someone make it for you, you will require 4 Saronite bars, 4 Titan Steel bars and 1 frozen orb. Moving on to the shoulders. The shoulders are called Runic Plate Shoulders, and again it's a craftable item from the blacksmith profession and can be bought and sold on the auction house as again it is bind on equip. Again, this is possibly the easiest way to obtain it. The recipe, should you wish to own it, can be purchased from Dram Riverhorn in Ungoro Crater, which is in southern Kalimdor. The coordinates are 4341. To make the shoulders yourself, or to have someone make them for you, you will require 20 thorium bars, 2 arcanite bars and 6 gold bars. So moving on to the cloak. Now for this I found 2 items that work really well and are pretty much identical in looks. The first is called the Cloak of Gushing Wound. This drops from, and forgive my pronunciation as I'm not too sure how to really say it, Erkham in the old Violet Hold in Dalaran on heroic mode only. A link to the dungeon location is in the description box below if you don't know where Violet Hold is, but just to be clear, it's not the Legion Violet Hold. The Butcher's Wrap Cloak comes from a quest in the Blasted Lands in Outland and is given to you by Thrall. So check your Transmog gear as you may already have done the quest and have the cloak already. If not, the quest starts at coordinates 4831 and you need to kill Tooth Smash the Annihilator. He is at coordinates 4435, so not too far from the quest giver. Now moving on to the chest. This is the chest guard of the Frozen Ascent and it is an item reward for completing the quest They Took Our Men, which is in the Storm Peaks in North Rend. So first make sure you check your Transmog gear to see if you already have it. If you don't have it and have not completed the quest, then head to the Storm Peaks and speak to Gretchen Fizzlespark at coordinates 4186 to do the quest. Once completed, you will be able to choose this as your reward. Moving on to the legs. The legs are called the Leg Plates of the Northern Expedition, and these are an item reward for completing the quest Not a Bug, which is in the Ice Crown in North Rend. So again, first make sure you check your Transmog gear to see if you already have it. If you don't have it and have not completed the quest, then head to the Ice Crown and speak to Thessarian aboard the Skybreaker ship for Alliance, or Kultira aboard Orgrim's Hammer for the Horde. Just open your map in Ice Crown to see where your faction's flying ship is located and go to it. Now for the weapon. There are many different one-handed hammers to use if you are a tank spec, and there are also many different two-handed hammers to use if you are a class that uses a two-handed weapon. The two-handed weapon that I use is called Whirlwind Warhammer, and was a reward from a quest line which I believe was only obtainable by warriors at the time, and it is now no longer available. So first check your Transmog gear to see if you have it. If not, The weapon called Dark Iron Pulverizer is pretty much the exact same weapon, just with a different name. It is a craftable item by the blacksmith profession and can be bought on the auction house as it is bound on equip. It can be very expensive though. I've seen this sell as high as 35,000 gold on my server. The plans can be bought on the auction house for a lot less than the weapon, or they can be obtained by killing Grizzle, one of the bosses in Blackrock Depths. I will put the link to the dungeon entrance in the description box below should you wish to obtain it. To make the item yourself, or to get a blacksmith to make it for you, you will need 18 dark iron bars and 4 Heart of the Fire. Now the single-handed hammer I use on my tank spec is called Venerable Mass of McGowan, and it's an heirloom item. It can be bought from the heirloom vendor's Crom Stout Arm in Ironforge or Estelle Gendry in the Undercity for 650 gold. It can also be obtained inside the tent at the Argent Tournament grounds in Icecrown from Dame Evaniki Capsalis, I think that's how you pronounce it, for 25 champion seals. Or at the Dark Moon Fair from Darren Dawncrest for 50 Dark Moon prize tickets. Now the enchant that I used was called Titan Guard, to give the hammer a faint yellow glow, but I'm sure it has now been removed from the game. So again, check your Transmog enchants to see if you have it. However, if you do not have this enchant, in my personal opinion, it looks just as good without any enchant on it at all. Now moving on to the shield. Now I know Thor does not use a shield, but if you are wanting to wear and use this Transmog as a tank, you're going to need one. I felt the flame-scarred Draconian Deflector fit really well with the Transmog. The shield can be bought from the heirloom vendor's Crom Stout Arm in Ironforge or Estelle Gendry in the Undercity for 500 gold. It can also be obtained from the vendor inside the tent at the Argent Tournament grounds in Icecrown for 25 champion seals, or at the Dark Moon Fair from Darren Dawncrest for 50 Dark Moon prize tickets. Anyway guys, that was my Thor Transmog guide. I hope you liked it and maybe give it a try. I may make another Transmog video on my take on the Lich King, as I've had a few messages from people asking how I got the Transmog I normally run with. But for now, thanks for watching, please comment, like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.